guys, welcome to episode 3 of Seduction Marketing, where I'll be discussing tips and tricks about prospecting, sales calls, overcoming objections, anything about talking and getting your clients. I'm Sariah, and I help freelancers get their ideal clients at their ideal rates. So for today, we'll be discussing something that is a common problem among freelancers. So I asked this question inside my group, and the question is, what's your biggest roadblock when it comes to getting premium clients and closing deals? I'll just read some of their answers from my email. One of them said, my biggest roadblock is communication barrier and time management. Most of the time, I cannot put into words all my thoughts. I am very particular with my grammar. I always think that it's not correct. I'm also disoriented, maybe because I'm too overwhelmed with so many things to do and accomplish. Okay, so that's the first one. So I'll share another answer. Ito naman daw yung problem niya when it comes to getting premium clients. My biggest problem is that I'm always scared during prospecting. So nakaka-relate ba kayo doon? Yung kapag magsisend na ng samples, natatakot na ako and ending hindi ko siya gagawin. Paano ko po kaya ma-overcome yun? Nag-watch na ako ng lessons pero takot pa rin ako. And the third one, sabi niya, the biggest roadblock in getting premium and closing clients is that I'm an overthinker. I tend to run some questions in my mind which my potential clients might ask that I myself would have a difficult time to find an answer to. Also, my confidence slowly dies down whenever I wanted to reach out to a client. Perhaps I know for a fact that I'm not yet an authority in the skill that I offer. That's why I'm trying to build up myself with my chosen niche, and I enrolled to be an effective email marketer. I'm sure if you're a freelancer looking for your own clients, you may have related to any one of these. So for today's episode, we're actually gonna answer all of these problems with just one sentence. And that sentence, you probably have heard this a lot of times before. Have you ever heard the saying, perfection is the enemy of done? So what's the bottom line? So if we look at these problems, communication barrier, kasi feeling niya dapat perfect yung grammar niya, feeling niya hindi correct yung grammar niya, natatakot siyang magsalita, reach out to clients kasi feeling niya yung grammar niya hindi correct, and na-overwhelm siya with so many things to do, so end up walang ginagawa. So in short, walang ginagawa. Hindi na nagpo-prospecting, hindi na kumakausap ng clients because they feel that the grammar has to be perfect, the English has to be perfect, diba? And the second one, sabi naman niya, always scared during prospecting, pag magsisend ng samples, natatakot, and ending hindi daw niya gagawin. So, tanong niya paano daw niya ma-overcome. So, ganun din, hindi ma-send yung samples, like sample emails or sample whatever, kasi feeling nila hindi perfect. Feeling nila may palpak, so parang hindi na lang sinesend, diba? So, in action na naman. And the third one, sabi niya, yung pagiging overthinker. So, kakaisip, parang tama ba yung questions na tinatanong ko sa client? Or baka may tanungin si client, hindi ko masagot. Have you ever heard of the term analysis paralysis? So, kaka-analyze, napaparalyze. Hindi na kumikilos kasi natatakot. The enemy in all of these situations is actually perfection. We're parang so used to wanting things to be perfect that we end up getting paralyzed and not getting anything done at all. Kaya nga sabi, perfection is the enemy of done. One of the reasons for this is, number one, we fear rejection and failure. So, bakit nga ba hindi na lang isend yung sample? Why don't you just go ahead and send that message kahit na, hindi ka sure sa grammar mo? Why? Because you're afraid that you'll be rejected, or you're afraid of being treated like a failure, or like parang you're not smart or something, like you're dumb. So, there's that fear, okay? So, parang kaakibat ng perfectionism is that fear of failing or being perceived as a failure. So, yun siya. The one thing I want you to remember is the best things happen on the other side of fear. Let's give an example. For example, you want to learn how to drive. Like me, I'm terrified of driving, diba? So, I'm terrified of getting into an accident. So, if I keep on focusing on thinking na baka ma-aksidente ako when I go out, baka may mabangga ako, baka may mag-cut sa akin, baka whatever, lahat ng negative, yun yung iniisip ko, If I focus on that fear of getting into an accident or all the negative things that can happen if I do drive, I will end up never learning to drive or never even driving at all. But the best things happen on the other side of fear. If I just face my fear of driving and learn to drive, diba? And just, do it, eventually, masasanay ako hanggang sa mawala yung fear. Diba? That's how everyone learns, diba? The second reason why perfection is the enemy of done, or we don't get things done when we're striving to be perfect, is we think something has to be perfect before we start doing something. Okay? Because again, we don't want to be rejected. And we want it perfect. Kailangan perfect. Kailangan yung sample ko perfect bago ko i-send sa client. Kailangan yung proposal ko perfect. Kailangan yung skills ko perfect before I go out there and show up to my prospects, diba? It causes inaction. It causes you to procrastinate. Kasi when will you ever be perfect? Diba? The answer is never. Kasi it's a continuous process of improvement. And if you're a newbie freelancer, you're starting out in your skill, kailan ka pa magiging perfect? So, ibig sabihin ba nun forever ka nalang maghihintay? Na, pag perfect na ako, saka lang ako kakausap ng clients, diba? Remember that effective work is all about moving towards your desired destination. Moving, okay? And not necessarily ensuring that nothing spills or nothing gets wrong or whatever, diba? Just make sure na, parang you're giving yourself that grace that mistakes can happen and you're not focused on the outcome. You're not focused on the final result. Just focus on the process of doing something every day. Otherwise, you fall into the trap of idealizing the end result. Parang you're daydreaming of the end result and you know that it's impossible at this rate to achieve that, so you end up not doing anything at all. You end up getting stuck, diba? Instead, here are some tips that you can do para ma-overcome yung parang parang to overcome being a perfectionist, okay? To overcome that feeling of it has to be perfect, or to overcome that fear and then ending up not doing anything. So I'll give you some of my tips. To focus on habits or consistent daily action. The antidote to fear and inaction is just consistent daily action. I'm not just talking about one-time action. I'm not just talking about a one-week action, but it's a consistent daily action, day in, day out. I even watched a YouTube video that said na they did a study. If you're afraid of doing something, just try to do it for 100 times. Like for example, I used to be afraid of showing myself up here on YouTube. Okay, and I plan to do like 100 episodes until I get the hang of it. So this is just my 3rd episode, so 97 more to go, and let's see what happens from there. Basta do it every day kasi you won't get good at the first try, diba? You won't bat well on the first try, diba? You won't get a home run on your first bat. So talaga it takes practice nga, ika nga. And yung isa naman yung problem nga niya is, yun nga yung feeling niya hindi maganda enough yung samples niya. Hindi niya ma-send. So, parang napaparalyze siya. So, again, if you're like a copywriter, like let's say you're doing copywriting for sales pages, sulat ka lang ng sulat and just keep on sending it to people. Like, for example, you're an email copywriter, parang hanap ka ng, kunyari, your target market or course creators. Let's say, look for a course creator online, look at their website, tapos look at the copy of the sales page, and then think, how can I improve this? Tapos write your own version or a simpler version of that. If, for example, you're offering copy for FB ads, like look at one target market, let's say skincare. Tingnan mo yung copy ng FB ads nila, Facebook ads. If you think you can do it better, write it, send it to them, diba? Message it to them. Hey, I just did this copy for you to improve on what your existing copy is, and hopefully it will give you more sales, more leads, more views, more clicks, whatever. If it works for you, then great, but I'm just giving this to you for free because I love your brand. So mga ganun. So you can do that. So just do something like that every day. For sure, mapapansin ka. Expect mistakes and errors. So, expected na yan. Like what I said kanina, if bata natututo pa lang maglakad, 'Diba? Hindi naman expect natin yan na tatayo agad, maglalakad agad, 'diba? So, expect natin mahuhulog-hulog yung bata, madadapa, mauntog. But, does the child say, pag nadapa siya one time or two times, sasabihin niya, Mommy, ayoko na po maglakad. Walking is not for me. 'Diba? Or, Mommy, carry mo na lang ako forever. No, the child doesn't stop walking just because they tripped for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even 10 times. The child just goes back up, gets up, and then walks again, and again, and again, until yung dating nadadapa, hindi na nauuntog, di ba? Unti-unting nasasanay. So for some, it may take like 8 months before they walk. Some takes 1 year, some take 2 years, but the fact is, every child, every normal child learns to walk eventually because they do it every day. So, ganun din when you're talking to clients. Expect mistakes, expect that you'll mess up, expect that there will be rejections. That's all part of it. Don't let it discourage you, okay? Instead, learn from it. Okay? Learn from your mistakes and treat it as lessons. Okay? Your failures are not really failures. They're just lessons on how you can improve something later on. If you expect mistakes and errors or objections, tapos hindi mo siya pinapersonal, you will also learn eventually how to tweak your offer. Diba? Parang, uy, may objection na ganito yung client sa price ko. Baka hindi niya nakikita kung ano yung value, what value I bring him. On the other hand, if you say, oh no, nireject ni client yung proposal ko, I suck. Diba? You're closing your brain and you're accepting that. You're telling yourself you suck. Diba? And like if you say, ano kaya ang pwede kong improve? Bakit may objection siya? Imbes na personalin mo, diba? So you tend to look for more courses or probably enroll in a mentorship program where you can get feedback, diba? Or you can ask people in a group, in a freelancing group, diba? For advice. So it really opens you up to more ideas when you have that mindset of acceptance of rejections, objections, instead of being so defensive and so emotional about it. So accept mistakes, accept that they happen. Set deadlines and stick to them. Whenever you have movable deadlines, when you have a deadline that's not set, yung namumove siya, tendency is you will be tempted to make everything perfect. Kasi nga, alam mo kaya mo i-move eh. Ay, saka na lang kapag, perfect na. So, you get used to postponing, procrastinating, because you feel that what you're doing is never good enough. But keep in mind that great things take time to unfold. So, make sure, if you're setting your deadline, that it's a reasonable timeline for you. Hindi yung parang, kailangan in 3 months nag-earn na ako ng 6 figures. That's not reasonable, right? Because you have a learning curve, you have to learn so many things, you have to collect by your results, diba? And case studies, etc. So give yourself a reasonable timeline because great things take time to unfold. Be patient with yourself and stop comparing yourself to everyone else. So when I say be patient to yourself, it's like sometimes when we see wins of other freelancers, nakapag 6 figures na, nakabili na ng bahay, diba, whatever, sometimes we are comparing our chapter 1 to their chapter 10, and that's not fair, right? So, sila chapter 10 na, tayo chapter 1 pa lang, pero feeling natin dapat ganun na rin tayo. So, that's not fair, okay? To yourself. Even the most seasoned entrepreneurs or business people, they know that when they're launching a new product or service, it's going to take them time to get it right. They know na there will be like tweaks and alterations, reiterations, improvements, repairs, depende sa feedback ng market. Okay? That's why it's important that you take daily actions to talk to your market. Every day you should be talking to someone from your market. Why? Because that's where you will find out what they need and how you can fine-tune your offer, how you can refine it, how you can improve your offer based on the conversations you have with your prospects, with your target market. So is my favorite, celebrate small wins and milestones. So sometimes we tend to celebrate only those big wins or big milestones. Kasi nga may perfectionist mind tayo. But when you get used to, acknowledging the small wins, the small milestones, and celebrating them. Like for example, I was able to talk to 5 prospects today. That's a win. Kahit wala ka na close doon, it's a small win. Kasi dati nahihiya ka, di ba? I was able to take action today, talk to 5 prospects. So, you can celebrate that. You can eat ice cream or do whatever you want. Just celebrate it. Just have that feeling of excitement in you. Kasi it's hard to talk to prospects when you're always nervous. So when you're in the habit of celebrating small wins, it's like you're always excited, diba? Always have this energy, this high vibe. So hindi lang related sa freelancing and careers, but any small wins, like small wins of your kids, small wins of your friend, or a habit that you mastered, you finished reading a book, you finished your Korean novela, whatever. Celebrate it, right? Hindi naman kailangan magastos yung celebration eh. Whether it's on Facebook, on LinkedIn, email, cold email outreach, show up every single day. Whether if someone replies or not, just show up, just send that email, send that message, send that sample, right? And it's only when you show up that you will discover things about yourself and you won't let that fear stop you anymore. And when you're so used to just enjoying that process, that fear won't hold you down anymore, won't paralyze you anymore, because it becomes a habit. You're showing up to people and offering help, giving value becomes a habit, and showing up just feels so natural. If you're finding value here, make sure to like and subscribe and ring the notification bell so you get updates on when I will be posting new videos every Thursday and Saturday every single week. So guys, again, it's not about waiting to get it perfect before you implement it. You have to just do it, diba? Share what you have, release it to the world, and it's about getting a working version, getting your foot out that door and not really, arriving at the destination right away. Because you can always refine it over time. Hindi kailangan perfect agad. Just do it and then refine it while you're doing it, diba? Because if you wait too long to release your product or offer your service, expand your company, scale your business, if you wait too long, guys, you will become stagnant. You won't ever grow. Lalo kayong maiiwan and hindi nyo mahihit yung goals nyo. And you'll lose momentum. So momentum is so important in freelancing, all right? In getting clients. So what was once an exciting idea of, freelancing, getting time freedom, getting financial freedom, getting my own clients, now becomes something tiring, and difficult to implement kasi you're stagnant, okay? Unlike if you have momentum, diba? You're always excited. So that's why it's important to do it right and do it right away, okay? Not do it perfectly, just do it right away. So again, just to recap on my tips, perfection is the enemy of done, and here are the things that you can do to avoid perfectionism and just take action. So number 1, focus on habits and consistent daily action. Number 2, expect to make mistakes and errors. Like me, ang dami ko ng mistakes ngayon. And number 3, set deadlines and stick to them. Number 4, be patient with yourself and stop comparing yourself with others. Number 5, celebrate small wins and milestones. Number 6, just show up, okay? And another bonus tip, surround yourself with people who support your goals, who support your vision, and you can learn from, you can grow from. If your crowd is kind of pulling you down, time to look for a new tribe, time to look for a new crowd or group of people who can support you. So that's it for this episode, guys. If you found value in this, give it a like and share it to someone who it might help. I'll be posting new videos every week, so make sure to subscribe to my channel. Again, thanks for watching and goodbye.